Coming up, we have Josh Roth, VP of Revenue and Global Head of Pre-Sales at Pipefy, who will present on using AI through the discovery call. Josh, please begin.
Thank you. Very much appreciated. So let me go ahead and share the screen here. So when you're thinking about using AI in your discovery calls, um, really what you should be thinking about is agility and thinking critically. Um, Struggling to handle this. So we've got about 18 minutes here. A few things to think about. What we're going to cover today: where can AI help? Where can AI impede? Um, when to consider leveraging AI and AI's role within discovery. Um, so when using AI, it's really helpful to inform you on a perspective. What perspective are you having, or that you're trying to build with the account, with the prospect that you're speaking with in discovery? Um, a few things to think about. Rain Group releases some data around why buyers buy. The number one reason why buyers buy is they trust you. The number two reason is they feel like you're an expert in their field. So having a really well-informed perspective on how and if you can help in a discovery is really important. And leveraging AI to help you come up with that perspective, what's important to them, what's important in their industry, what are some trends that they might be seeing. Those are all things that AI can be helpful with. It also can help you expedite your research, and it can take your due diligence process down by anywhere from about 60 to 80%, depending on what you're selling, depending on the industry and information available within your customer account. And can also be really helpful in validating and gut checking your assumptions. Really, when you're leveraging AI, you should already have a bit of a point of view. AI should be validating and gut checking what your point of view is. Where AI may not fit, you should not be leveraging AI to think for you. That's not what it's for. It also really shouldn't be telling you what to ask. It might give you ideas on some questions to ask, but remember, the most important thing you can do is ask good questions. Chris Orlob is one of the people that I think really highly of, that posted recently that the biggest differentiator between strong salespeople and weak salespeople is the questions they ask. If AI is telling you what to ask, it's unlikely that that call is going to go as well as it could if you're the person driving that conversation. And I've yet to see AI really be a strong prospector yet. Might change. Haven't seen it yet. So one of the ways that I believe AI can be best suited is actually as a backdrop in your conversations. What I've noticed is a lot of people use acronyms, or they'll talk about whether it's other softwares that are in use, or whatever it might be. I actually really like to use AI as a way for me to just gut check and make sure that I have an understanding of what our prospect is actually talking about. So here's a screenshot of, if you were selling to Verizon's chief digital transformation officer, what might be interesting to them, what might be important to them. This helps me to going back to the previous slide, just gut check what and why it might be important to them, and helps me gut check my own understanding. And then the cadence that I like to use AI in discovery calls is I'll actually use ChatGPT in discovery calls. And here's an example of, if someone were to use an acronym FTE, full-time equivalent, full-time employee, how you can really quickly just type it in and get the answer and get the context you need while still listening to the customer and listening for understanding. That's really, really key. And it's something that when I'm in discovery calls, when I'm speaking with customers and prospects, I really like to use AI as a backdrop so that I don't necessarily always need to be pausing the conversation. I think sometimes it's good to just ask your customer, "Hey, you use this acronym. What does that mean?" Sometimes it can kind of derail the conversation. So recognizing when to use that pause and when to use AI as a backdrop is really important, and something that I think AI within discovery calls is really helpful for. Um, Finishing up, AI's current and future role in discovery. The way I see AI is kind of a passenger. You still need to be the one driving that car. You take your hands off the wheel. You know, AI is not at the point yet where it can drive for you fully if you're not paying attention. AI is still going to be a passenger in the sales process. AI can maybe help you navigate, but you still have to know where you're going. You still got to know your destination. AI can be the one that can kind of help you again, just navigate the routes. It can help you prepare. It can tell you what to put into the car before your trip. But again, you still got to be the person that's packing. You still got to know what you need for the trip and why. Um, and then it helps you get more specific. I've found in selling that it is better to be specific and wrong than it is to be vague. And I found AI to be helpful in delivering that specificity that you need in your discovery calls, in terms of helping you narrow your focus, particularly in forming that perspective. Um, in the future, where I see AI going is as a little bit more of an enabler. I see AI as a tool to really enable a deeper discussion. Right now, I find that if you really want to do deep discovery, you need more than just a 30-minute call. Sometimes you need, multiple meetings depending on whether you're selling, within the enterprise or in SMB. And I see potentially in the future, AI will enable salespeople and customers to have deeper conversations right from the jump, because there's a certain level of knowledge that you as a salesperson should be coming into the call with, and the best salespeople will come into that call with that knowledge, enabling deeper discussion. I think AI will help more salespeople come to calls with that predisposition knowledge. um, I also think AI will be really helpful in reading earnings reports, 10Ks and 10Qs. I find, and this is a little bit more targeted towards enterprise selling than it is mid-market or SMB. But earnings reports are long. You've got 4 different statements that you're reading through. You also may be reading some sort of like investor relations document. Those can be 30 to 60 pages. I think at some point AI might be helpful in understanding and pulling out specific areas of the investor relations documents that might be able to illuminate some aspects of the business that you might not be aware of. And similar on things like the cash flow statement or income statement. AI might, I think in the future, will be able to read those specific documents and be able to help you form a perspective on what might be going on within the company based upon those earnings reports. So I see AI as really kind of being uh, a tool for you to be able to get deeper in the financials than sometimes salespeople are able to right now. And I also think AI is going to become a little bit of what I would consider to be a business fortune teller. Right now, you can actually use AI as an investment vehicle. There are tools that you can actually invest alongside, Congress people, and it will actually mirror their purchases. And so I think at a future state, AI might actually be able to be a bit of a business fortune teller and be able to read based upon a company's tech stack, based upon a company's growth stage, based upon a company's growth rate of how many people they are hiring. I think AI at that point will become a little bit of a business fortune teller to be able to share with salespeople and share with go-to-market teams what is the next purchase that this company may make. So, for example, if a sales team typically purchases a sales engagement platform right before purchasing a sort of like a prospecting tool, I envision AI as that fortune teller to be able to say, hey, this company just purchased, I'm making this up, outreach. And typically user gems is purchased shortly after outreach. Therefore, if your user gems, we're going to give you a bit of an alert that, hey, this company just made that purchase that typically happens right before, now's a pretty good time to reach out. So I see AI as kind of being a co-pilot in that sort of a sense as well. And really, that's all that we have on how I think AI can be leveraged right now in discovery and where I think we're going on AI. And I appreciate it.
I mean, Max, I think that we are totally on the same page, right?
Yeah.
Me and Max are AI preachers, I would say so, like the tech guys that actually try to implement AI in each and every sphere of marketing and sales. So yeah, I mean, like, just totally agree here.
Maybe we have some questions. Let's check. No, it was clear, but I definitely will share the link to LinkedIn with Josh to make sure that anyone who have any question, because we will share the recorded version of this summit. So I hope, George, you'll be able to answer maybe for those who eager to know more.
Yeah, 100%. Happy to.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a nice day.